Patch 4.04 really shook up the game's meta 3 weeks ago. The controller class was turned on its head, new agents are starting to rise in the meta while others fall from grace. All is good so far in Act 2, except for my ranked games, and now we have our second patch of the act. What is going on, ProGuides family? It is your host Sergeant Frost, and today we have the Valorant patch 4.05 patch notes. And of course, if you're looking to find some high quality guidance to climb this act, make sure to visit our website ProGuides.com, where our Radiant and Immortal level coaches are more than happy to assist you with any in-game needs. Click the link in the description if you're interested, and let's head right into the patch notes. For our agent changes, we only have one major change involving Brimstone that addresses some of the new previous buffs he was given in the last patch. Brimstone's stim beacon charges were reduced from 2 to 1, and the cost of a charge of his stim beacon has increased from 100 credits to 200 credits. This nerf is significant, but it doesn't undo the positive gameplay changes that happened to Brimstone last patch. Losing a stim beacon does feel a little bit bad, mostly because the double speed boost strategy created some interesting and fun attacking strategies in the game over the past few weeks. And the increase in price to the stim beacon means Brim can't buy a ghost, 2 smokes, and a stimmy on pistol round anymore. So he needs to choose between buying all of his smokes with his ghost or getting a stimmy on those pistol rounds. This stim change is unfortunate to see nerfed so quickly after it was buffed to give Brim more unique power. But this shouldn't affect his viability much, as in if he's good on a map already, he's still going to be good for that map. For game system updates, the devs are taking more action on increasing the functionality of finding and using different crosshairs from other players. The devs have added the ability to import and export different crosshair settings via auto-generated codes. To export and share your personal crosshair settings, go to the Settings Crosshair tab, click on the icon that looks like an arrow pointing up. Found next to the crosshair profile, it looks like an arrow chilling in the middle of a bowl. Your auto-generated code will be copied to your clipboard. Now, to do the inverse and import crosshair settings, go to the Settings Crosshair tab, click on the icon that looks like an arrow pointing down next to the crosshair profile, input or paste the code in the provided field, and click the import button. The crosshair preview at the top of the settings menu should reflect the imported settings. Make sure to give it a unique profile name so that you'll be able to find it for later and use it. It's nice to see Riot expanding upon and improving features they've implemented into the game in the past. Seeing these crosshair profile changes becoming easier to import and export makes the process for newer players easier and simpler. And it encourages the community creation because now it's easier to get your designs to the community en masse. While we're on the topic of gameplay system updates, let's talk about the updated Prioritize Strongest Weapon setting. Riot has stated that the goal behind the Prioritize Strongest Weapon setting was to allow players to traverse quickly with melee equipped and be combat ready after using an ability or interacting with the spike, ult orbs, etc. But there have been 2 changes made. The devs have reworked the Prioritize Strongest Weapon setting. They have renamed the setting Auto-Equip Prioritizes to Most Recent/Strongest. They have updated the priority system as well to support weapons like abilities as well. The previous pecking order was primary, then secondary, then melee. And the second overall change they made was don't auto-equip melee. This change skips past the melee when finding the most recent weapon to auto-equip. This prevents the melee from being equipped after channeling or casting abilities, without changing any other auto-equip behavior. This small rework should make using the new feature a bit more clear, and also opens up the option to make it more custom designed for whatever your preferences are. That way you won't end up with the wrong weapon equipped in the game when it matters. Finally, at last, in comp updates, this patch, the deterministic map system has been enabled for all regions. As they explained to us in patch 4.04, this rollout should increase the variety of all maps in your queue based on a system that was tested in the LATAM region this month. This change is huge for ranked as a whole, as the deterministic map selection experiment was deemed a success and worth implementing worldwide by the devs at Riot. For anyone who is out of the loop since last patch, deterministic map selection is a smart system that uses an algorithm to choose the least played map in the past 5 games as an average between all the players in the lobby. This change is meant to decrease the amount of times you play the same map in a row, or how many times you frequently see a certain map in one single play session in a day. This change should add some variety to your maps in ranked, and it should reduce those dreaded 3 icebox games in a row in a single play session for you. Now let's close out the patch notes with bug fixes. For competitive bug fixes, the devs have fixed a bug that was causing the leave match button to function incorrectly for PvE players. In agent bug fixes, the devs have fixed an issue where Sova's recon bolt was destroyed by Brimstone's orbital strike even if the recon bolt was well out of the area. And lastly, for social bug fixes, the devs have fixed a bug where the mic icon on the scoreboard could not be interacted with after hovering over it with the mouse. And lastly, for known issues, the devs have acknowledged that there are a handful of bug fixes prepped for Icebox, but the team ran into an issue that blocked them from shipping those changes right with the 4.05 patch launch. They hope to ship these changes before the next patch, and they will list them here as soon as they do. It is nice to know that our issues and problems we have found on Icebox in the past few weeks are recognized, and they will be addressed in the coming weeks. Well guys, that's all we have for the patch 4.05 rundown. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Also, don't forget to check out ProGuides.com to gain some access to some truly amazing coaching. This has been your host